Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. It's time for another Life in London vlog, although hilariously I'm filming this intro not in London, but that is for an upcoming video. In this Life in London vlog, I'm actually gonna take you to H&M of all places to do a bit of clothing recycling. This is not a sponsored thing, it's just something I learned about that I thought was really cool. And while I was there, I was inspired to do a little bit of shopping. I actually started this channel doing some clothing hauls, and I do want to test bringing some of that back in moderation. But for those of you who only follow me for travel content, if you want to skip to part 2 of this video, which is going to be at this timestamp down below, fair play. In part 2 of this video, we are gonna go and do a super long walk through some of London's amazing sights, starting from Hyde Park, going all the way down through to Buckingham Palace, and actually walking all the way down along through to the Strand, where we were gonna go to Soho House, but obviously I can't film in there. So if that sounds good and you wanna see a little bit of what a lovely long walk looks like, or maybe you're interested in some of H&M's kind of interesting recycling programs, then this random video might be for you, but off we go. Hey guys, me again. So today I'm actually off to Oxford Circus to do something a little bit different, and I thought it was worth mentioning in this vlog because I didn't know this existed until recently, but apparently H&M does clothing recycling. So if you have old clothing that is not something that you could donate to a charity shop, like say it's holey, it's damaged, you can actually bring it to an H&M location. Now I don't know if all of them do it, but I know the H&M in Oxford Circus in London, the one that's literally off of the station, because there's quite a few in that area, they do it. So I'm gonna go bring my clothing in and check out the experience, and thought I would review it here just in case this is of interest, and if you want to check if H&M locations in your area also do clothing recycling. So off we go. So before we go, actually, this is my bag of clothing, hilariously in a Selfridges bag, but I've just got a bunch of stuff. Like this has a massive hole in it, more kind of holes. So it's a lot of old like sweater kind of textiles, some old jeans, just things that I can't either repair or, you know, don't feel like it's appropriate to donate because they're damaged kind of beyond wear. And yeah, I'm gonna bring this in. So clothing recycling at H&M could not be any easier. Full stop. I literally walked into the store, went to the kind of cash registers or tills, as you might say in the UK, on the ground floor, and just said, hey, I'm here to recycle a bag of clothing. And they said, yeah, great. Do you have the H&M app? And I said, I do. So they literally took the bag from me. They scanned did something in my app, and gave me a £5 voucher off of a £25 or more future purchase. So obviously if you don't shop at H&M, you don't have to use it, but I did look on the website and there are a few other interesting fun facts on the program I feel like I have to share. So since 2019, so H&M's actually had their recycling program since 2013. I had no idea. But since 2019, they've collected over 29,000 tons of unwanted clothing and textiles, and you can donate them from any brand. They don't have to be H&M. And that's actually the equivalent of 145 million t-shirts. So it's pretty crazy and really impressive that they've done this, and they're really leading the way. And hey, since I now had a £5 voucher burning a hole in my pocket, I said, you know, maybe I will take a look and do some shopping and see if there's anything I genuinely want. So off to our H&M haul. All right, so first up was this cool oversized black and white striped sweater, or jumper, as we might say in the UK. And my daily uniform, whether when I'm like working at home or just kind of running errands and it's cold out, is like a really big, comfy sweater. I don't usually have ones with like patterns, but I liked the idea of the black and white stripe. Unfortunately, this was just so massive and oversized. I'm wearing an extra small, so this just sadly was not going to work for me. I've also been wanting to try some of H&M's activewear for a long time because I am someone who loves to work out, whether it's running, going to the gym. I want to get back into Pilates and yoga, and I had seen some of these online and it was so great they had some in store to try on. Unfortunately, the one kind of zip up kind of activewear top that I tried on, I just didn't think the quality was very good. It just kind of showed a lot of lumps and bumps, and actually if you zoom in, there were already a lot of damage on it, so you could tell it was just not very well made, which is a shame because I liked the overall kind of like the fit of it in terms of being true to size was nice, but I just didn't think the fabric was the best quality. So however, with the next one that I tried on, which is slightly heavier and has this kind of like diagonally down kind of puff detail on the front, I actually purchased this one because I thought this one was much better from a quality standpoint. I actually sized up in this one, whereas the last one was a size small. This one was a size medium and fit me perfectly with that. And I liked how there's a hood. It's a really cozy material. It has some fun details like the kind of the thumb hole with the hands, if that's something that you like. I never tend to use that, but maybe some people do. But yeah, I really like this. I could see myself just throwing this on in the spring and, you know, as my coat. But I also could see myself kind of working from home wearing this, as well as just so many other types of use cases. So next up, I wanted to try this wrap dress, but honestly, it was just the most horrible fit. I'm also a bit embarrassed showing you. It makes me look like I've got a nice little belly, and I think just the proportions of it were not suited for me, but maybe someone who's kind of got kind of rock solid abs and maybe is a bit more pear-shaped, this would be the dress for you. I got this one true to size in my normal UK size 8. Next up, I saw these green trousers, and I've been looking for a pair of trousers in this olive green color. They just fit horribly. They were not, I think my legs are in really nice shape, but they just didn't do them justice, so it was a hard no. Okay, and last up, this was this kind of satin, kind of mauvey beige top, and I actually really liked this one. This is the kind of top that you could wear kind of tucked into a pair of jeans or dress pants or a skirt. It's a really great kind of work type layering piece. So, and for £12.99, I mean, how could you go wrong? So I picked up this one because I thought this would just be a really nice layering piece in my wardrobe. So as always, all links will be down below, and I hope you enjoyed my H&M haul. Now we're gonna go on to our fun walk around London. Hey guys, so today is a gorgeous sunny day in London. These kind of days do not come along very often. So we are gonna celebrate by taking an epically long walk through Bayswater all the way down through to the Strand, which is along the Thames River. We're actually going to like a Sunday roast, Sunday lunch at the Soho House there. And while I can't film inside of there, I can film some of the lovely things that we see in the walk. So let's go take a look at what central London looks like right now in this gorgeous day. We started our walk in Hyde Park, and more specifically the Italian Gardens, which are a personal favorite of mine. I'm not sure if you know this, but the Italian Gardens were created in the 1860s, and they are believed to have been a gift from Prince Albert to his beloved Queen Victoria. How romantic is that? It's just, I mean, any man that wants to give me a massive garden like the Italian Gardens, I mean, I'm in. But I always recommend this for people that are traveling because it really does make for a beautiful place to stroll around. Hyde Park in itself is incredibly vast, and for good reason. Hyde Park is actually the largest of the 4 royal parks in London, and it was established in 1536 by Henry VIII. Actually, I didn't realize this, but Henry VIII took the land from Westminster Abbey and used it as a hunting ground, and it later opened to the public in 1637 and became very popular, specifically for May Day parades. If you're coming to visit London, you could easily spend a good chunk of one day exploring Hyde Park. Now, we were just passing through on our walk, but I'll give you a little rundown of some points of interest that you might want to check out if you're visiting. So if you want to see some of the kind of free speech in motion and demonstrations, you should go check out the Speaker's Corner, which is closer to the Marble Arch entrance of the park. This has been a key feature of the park since the 19th century, and it's known as a focal point of free speech and debate. I also recommend a lovely stroll along the Serpentine, which is the body of water in Hyde Park. In the warmer months, you can actually take the pedal boats out on the Serpentine, which I've actually never done this, and I would really love to. Some other things to check out would be the Princess Diana Memorial Fountain. And you also can check out, there's actually a gallery called the Serpentine Gallery where you can see kind of what's on there. And I also really enjoy going to check out Kensington Gardens and Kensington Palace as well, plus a stroll around the Round Pond over there. There also is a rose garden inside Hyde Park. It's definitely not as good as the one in Regent's Park, but I will give it an honorable mention as well. And last but certainly not least, I also recommend checking out the Albert Memorial. It's such a stunning, architecturally significant structure. And if you remember, we started our discussion about the park talking about the Italian Gardens, which was a gift from Prince Albert to Queen Victoria. Well, the Albert Memorial was commissioned by Queen Victoria in memory of her beloved husband, Prince Albert, who died in 1861. So pretty wonderful and romantic. After a lovely sunny stroll in Hyde Park, we crossed the road and over towards the Wellington Arch. And a couple little bits on this for those that are not aware. So the Wellington Arch actually used to be positioned at Buckingham Palace. I had never known this before, and it was between 1882 and 1883 that it was actually moved to its current site. And another fun fact is it used to be the location of the smallest police station in London, and then in 1999 they transformed the space into a museum. So I didn't know this, but you can now go inside the Wellington Arch. So this is now firmly on my London bucket list, and if I do it, you know, I'll try and film it if that's allowed. But I had a quick look on the website because I know someone will ask, and I just checked on a random day coming up, and it was, I think, £6.90 for one adult ticket, and I think there were packages for families around £16.90 for 2 adults and up to 3 children. So could be a really different and interesting thing to go check out if you are really interested in history like I am if you're on a visit to London. Next up, we crossed over to walk along Constitution Hill, which is a road in London that goes up to Buckingham Palace. It actually borders the palace on one side, and on the other side you have Green Park. And what's really interesting about Green Park is today it's in one of the wealthiest neighborhoods in London. It's in the borough of Westminster, and it borders kind of Westminster and Mayfair. But what I didn't realize is that Green Park actually has a very sketchy past. It was originally known as a land for lepers. There was a lot of crime in the park, and it's quite interesting to think now that we're walking through some of these very gentrified, very beautiful parts of London that they used to just be really not nice areas, and it's quite incredible to really think about that you're kind of stepping through history. And I would really encourage you, if you are coming to London or you live in London, to really do a little bit of research on the places that you frequent, because it's really quite fascinating the more you dig into them. After we rounded the corner to the famous Buckingham Palace, which is always a delight to see, and of course, one must wave to the Queen if you are passing by the palace, but we didn't linger for too long because we had that restaurant booking on the horizon. But we were actually really surprised to start seeing all of these people in costumes wandering by us, and we're just wondering, what is happening? What's going on? And what we realized is they were actually filming, I believe it's a movie in that area on a Sunday of all days. But it was really wonderfully surprising and special to be passing through that as that was all going on underway. And I guess in a way it's maybe not that surprising because, I just mentioned, so many of these parts in London, you do feel like you're kind of stepping back in time, and it's not surprising that kind of a period drama TV show or movie would be filmed in some of these very historic parts of London. So very, very cool and unexpected indeed. After we finished our walk down the mall with just a bit of gawking at the film production underway, we turned the corner and found ourselves at Trafalgar Square, which is another iconic must-see place in London, and just a couple little bits on the history of Trafalgar Square. So Trafalgar Square was established in the early 19th century. It commemorates the Battle of Trafalgar, which is the British naval victory in the Napoleonic War over France and Spain that took place on the 21st of October, 1805, off the coast of Cape Trafalgar. What I didn't realize about Trafalgar Square is that it's been a very famous part of London since the 1200s. Talk again about really thinking about how historic and wonderful London is. It's very much been known as a community gathering place for kind of discussions and demonstrations, which really doesn't surprise me at all. But there are some wonderful things that you can see in Trafalgar Square, including the famous kind of lion statues, the fountains, the National Gallery, to name a few. It definitely could make for a place that you could linger for a bit, which is really wonderful. But sadly, we didn't have much time to linger and explore. We continued our way down along the Strand, and this is where I stopped filming a ton because it does get really crowded with people, so I didn't want to overly film with people. But another place that I would recommend checking out if you are walking this way in London would be, you have kind of two choices. You could kind of head up into Covent Garden, which would be really wonderful, and I always kind of recommend that. Or on another recommendation would be to go check out Somerset House, which also has some museum exhibits going on and a few great cafes. In the winter, they have a famous Christmas tree and an ice skating rink there, which is really lovely. But all good walks must come to an end, so shortly after passing by Somerset House, we reached our destination and we were very hungry for that Sunday roast. So I really hope that you enjoyed this video. I know it's a bit of a random one. I definitely welcome your feedback on what you like, what you don't like. I'm trying to find my groove here with some of these Life in London videos, so I'd actually love to hear more of what you want to see about kind of, as a local living in London, what I can do to share more of it with you, because I'm always out and about doing stuff, and my style has more been about documenting things that I'm actually doing versus creating things just for YouTube. So, but hey, I can always use some inspiration as well to make the most out of London, and if you've got some suggestions, send them my way. So I really hope you enjoyed this video. As always, if you like this content, please hit that subscribe button. I do create videos about things outside of London with my travels. Definitely have a lot of fun travels planned for this year, so definitely hit subscribe to see where those are. Hit that like button if you like this video, and as discussed, feedback is always welcome, so leave a comment down below, and sharing is caring here on this channel if you've got any great tips of things that you love about London or things to see and do. So thanks again for tuning in, guys, and I will see you soon.